Welcome to the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. The Washington Commanders select Emmanuel Forbes, corner from Mississippi State, at 16. Now, we're going to break down Emmanuel Forbes. We're going to go through his pros and his cons. Shout out to the Burgundy and Gold report. This is his report right here that I'm going to be using to break down Emmanuel Forbes. So you guys go check out Adam Aniba at the Burgundy and Gold report. So the pros: fluid hips, exceptional change of direction and ability, which is great for a corner. These are things that you look at. He's a ball hawk. It's evident, when he's going against opposing QBs, they would frequently shy away from him because they know that he's a guy that can intercept the ball and turn it the other way for points. So that's a playmaker, a mega playmaker that this defense has been needing. This defense was terrible. They were at the bottom of interceptions last year. Now you're bringing a guy who gets interceptions, right? So this should help this defense. Scheme-wise, he's versatile. He has ability to excel in man or zone coverage. Being that the Commanders run a lot of zone, this bodes well for him and his abilities. 32-inch arms, long arms to be able to disrupt passing windows. That's what you love. And he also excels at 50-50 situations. Even though he has a smallish frame, he's super long, super athletic, long arms. He is 6'1", so he's not a short guy. He's just a slimmer, slender kind of guy. His instincts and field vision are evident. Okay. Some of the knocks on Emmanuel Forbes: his weight, his frame. He has a slight frame. You hear it all the time when he's facing physical wide receivers. Even in man, he can tend to struggle, regardless of even being long. I mean, when you're small, right? But the hopes is that this guy can pick up some weight as he continues to grow in the NFL, both physically, mentally, in the NFL. His tackling abilities are lacking, because of his small frame, often drags down ball carriers instead of squaring up. So those are some of the things that he needs to work on, is tackling. I think he's going to gain some strength, through time. He takes bad angles when pursuing the ball. Occasionally, issues. Sorry, guys. Occasionally, he'll bite on like double moves, and most notably when facing athletic wide receivers. So, some of the things that he needs to shore up. Also, he can get caught up in the wash and run support. So that was the biggest knock. I was talking to one of my friends, and he was like, "Look, man, they're gonna run at this guy because of his smallish frame." He's a guy that was projected to go possibly late first round, early to mid second round, and he goes at 16. So why would he go at 16? You have to be able to trust this regime and know that, hey, they know what they're doing. They know what they're looking for. Immediately after Forbes was selected, then it was Gonzalez, who was a lot of Washington Commanders guy. That's why I don't do a lot of these mock drafts. When you do these mock drafts, they never go how you think they're going to go, because we're going by our board. At the same time, our board is not the board for the Commanders. So this year's draft class features a deep group at corner, right? Top shelf corners who boast of size, range, experience, production, athleticism, right? So here enters Emmanuel Forbes, who does have first round talent. He does have first round talent. It was just where he would be going. And you saw a lot of wide receivers go in the 20s. You would figure that somebody might have wanted to trade up to 16 to secure their guy and have the first dibs on the receiver that they wanted. Maybe Washington trades back 4 or 5 spots and collect a extra 4th or 5th. They were not able to make that deal. Maybe for some reason they just wanted to get their guy and not risk that he would be there. When you have a guy that's tops on your board, you want to go ahead and grab them before you end up getting sniped. So they got their guy. Forbes led the SEC in interceptions last season, ran a 4.35 on the second 40 during the NFL Combine. So we know he's fast. We know he's electric when he catches the ball. Although Forbes might not get selected in the first round, which he did, Adam Aniba says that he's the most intriguing corner in this entire class. So let's look at some of his numbers. Let's look at what he's done in his 35 game career with Mississippi State. 142 tackles, 89 solo, 6.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 fumble forced, 14 interceptions. I mean, 35 games and 14 interceptions is it's amazing. It's amazing. 6 touchdowns and 1 block kick. So he's very athletic, playmaker. I mean, 14 interceptions turns 6 of those into touchdowns. So that's amazing. And in this past season, in 11 games, he had 39 tackles, 20 solo, 1 tackle for loss, 6 interceptions, 15 pass defense, and 1 block kick. So 11 games, once again, 6 interceptions. This guy is going to be a guy who comes in and automatically becomes a playmaker. He is a interception machine. He turns these interceptions to touchdowns. So a little bit of background about Forbes. He grew up in Grenada, Mississippi, was a star defensive back for Grenada High School. During his senior year, he recorded 49 tackles, 23 solo, 8 interceptions, returned 2 for touchdowns, and 12 pass breakups. He also lined up at wide receiver, catching 31 passes for 499 yards, 7 touchdowns. So he's just a guy that's a playmaker. You put the ball in his hands, he knows how to score. Forbes was a 3-sport athlete while in high school. Played basketball, baseball, 4-star recruit, and ranked the number 3 prospect in Mississippi and the number 25 prospect in the nation by ESPN and Rivals. His performance led him to an invite to the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. The Grenada cornerback, highly recruited by Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Nebraska, Memphis, Louisiana Monroe. Forbes ultimately committed to playing for MSU Bulldogs. And we're going to talk about another MSU Bulldog player who was raving about Forbes. So as a true freshman in 2020, Forbes appeared in 11 games and started 9. He recorded 5 interceptions that season, returning his 5th interception during the Armed Force Bowl for a 90-yard touchdown, which happens to be a bowl record. In the 20 season, the Bulldogs corner started all 13 games, totaled 60 tackles, 46 solo, 5 tackles for loss, and 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 3 interceptions that led the team. Forbes also led MSU defense with 5 pass breakups. So you can see that this guy, like, no matter what season I'm reading or no matter what season I'm breaking down, you see that he gets interceptions and he always returns 1 or 2 at least on the minimum for a touchdown. So he has all kinds of achievements and awards. Commanders are getting a good one here. Also running at 4.35 in the combine. He's super lightning quick, super lightning fast. We've gone through the pros and the cons. And another guy that the Commanders drafted from the same school years ago, Fred Smoot, corner from MSU. And when you break down Fred Smoot, you look at his height. He was 5'11". He was 172 pounds. So he wasn't a guy that was necessarily big, but he held his own. He ran a 40 of a 4.4 8. And these guys compare, in several different areas, but several different areas, they're also different. So this is a guy that Fred Smoot is vouching for, and he likes, and he says this guy can come in and, bring a different kind of swag to his defense. We've been praying and searching for playmakers, right? And we finally get one. So I think that the Commanders are getting a good one here. I know a lot of you guys are upset with the pick, saying, oh, we should have traded back. Well, guess what? Sometimes you trade back and your guy is gone. There's no guarantees that you trade back and he's there. Also, there's no guarantee that you find a trade partner. So they saw their guy. They liked their guy. He was their highest rated corner on the Commanders board, most likely. Maybe they had maybe one other two guys, maybe one or two other guys ahead of them. But when we start to break down the press conference that are going to come out in the next few days, we're going to get to learn more on their thought process with Emmanuel Forbes. But look, last year, fans, we were down. I wasn't down, but a lot of us were down on John Dotson, saying, "Hey, he was a reach. He should have been, guy that we grabbed in the second round." But then look at all the other teams that went wide receiver, even in the second round. So there's no guarantee that he made it back to the Commanders when they arrived in the second round. So sometimes you have to get your guy. Sometimes you can trade back and still get your guy. But I think it all worked out with Jahan Dotson. I also think it's going to work out with Emmanuel Forbes. Now you finally have a decent to nice corner room with Fuller, Benjamin St-Juste, and now Forbes. And don't forget, Cameron Dantzler, who we just picked up, was also a MSU Bulldog as well. Guys, this is your guy, Manny. This is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. Please like, please subscribe, please share. I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. I'll most likely will be doing a video on our second and third round picks. Catch you guys then.